Ali, 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 yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for His blessings. Ali was the circle 7. Peace and love, family. Peace and love. Want to get our family on the manifest so that we can get in here and get this grand drawing, family. So be sure to hit the like, share, and the subscribe, buttons so that we can get these numbers up and let our people come into this special drawing.
Islam. I will now call to the floor our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shedu Amiti and Muhaji Shetsuel, to open the way according to law. Islam National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shedu Amiti and unmuted.
Islam, can you hear me, Goddess and Queen?
Clear as a bell. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Islam, Moorish America, want to rise upon the 7th and give all praises to the great God, Allah, Father God, Allah, and honors to His holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution, and bylaws. And honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. Let us come forth with our ancient Comedian adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and minds as we open up the way. Islam, Islamism. Ya Allah abnu heru makuneteru. Ya Allah abhet heru. Ya Allah ma'at heru. Ya Allah hotep heru. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'at herakuti. Ya Allah ahwajet de juti. Ya Allah, per im sutek, per im heru. Ya Allah, bamaduti. Allah hajat shepsis rab to Ali. Amin. Halayas. And that is the same Moorish kin in transliteration. O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the spirit of freedom. O Allah, the spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet. O Allah, Drew Ali. Amen. Aliyassa, Aliyassa, Aliyassa. Islam, Moorish kin. And now we come forth before you with the divine constitution of Moorish America. Salvation, our God, unity. The 7 supreme constitutional acts of law. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh. And on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you're part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been open according to the triune acts, Acts 1, 2, and 3 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we say Islam, Islam, Islamism. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. He ruleth and directed with infinite wisdom. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature, conforming to his will. Shemotepu Moorish kin.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Gratitude to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh for opening up the way according to law. I am the National Grand Secretary of the state of Indiana, Dr. Mathenos, and we rise giving perfect praises to our Father God, Allah, and the highest honors to His holy prophet, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. Honors to our theocratic Moorish American government. Honors to all of Act 1. Honors to our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, and our Grand National Flag, the Moorish flag. Honors to another Grand Moorish Perspectives class, and honors to all of you for being here. Islam, Islam, Islam. Chapter 54, Holy Instructions from the Prophet Charity. Happy is the man who hath sown in his breast the seeds of benevolence. The produce thereof shall be charity and love. From the fountain of his heart shall rise rivers of goodness, and the streams shall overflow for the benefit of mankind. He assisteth the poor in their trouble. He rejoiceth in furthering the prosperity of all men. He censureth not his neighbor. He believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence, neither repeateth he their slanders. He forgiveth the injuries of men. He wipeth from his remembrance. Revenge and malice have no place in his heart. For evil he returneth not evil. He hateth not even his enemies, but requiteth their injustice with a friendly admonition. The griefs and anxieties of men excite his compassion. He endeavoreth to alleviate the weight of their misfortunes, and the pleasure of success rewardeth his labor. He calmeth the fury, he healeth the quarrels of angry men, and preventeth the mischief of strife and animosity. He promoteth in his neighborhood peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benediction. Islam, Islam, Islam. Today is September 30th, 2023, and welcome to another Moorish Perspectives class sponsored by our Moorish American government. Our host instructor is our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. with our subject matter coming out of chapter 54, Ayat 9. Ali promoted in his government peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benediction. Gratitude again to our National Assistant Grand Chief for opening up the way according to law, and also gratitude to the National Grand Secretary of the state of Indiana, Dr. Mathenos, for taking registration and also reading the chapter of the week. At this time, we'll call to the floor our host instructor, our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shedo Amisi, and Muhammad Shaftuel. It is long, Grandman.
Islamism. Can you hear me, Goddess and Queen?
Without the schism, clear as a bell. Peace and love.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism, indeed. Want to rise once again upon the seven and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything, that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you to another Moorish Perspectives. I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Amohadi Shabazel, and my ancient comedian high name being the same is Dr. Shedawa Minti Amuheted Shepsuel. And I want to welcome you again to another Moorish Perspectives. and we have a grand drawing to bring on the manifest in this special uh, broadcast. And so we ask that our family have their paper and their pen on handy. And also be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is special video, because this is going to be something that's very informative. We always try to deal with what we call character building in the process of building our nation. That's what it's all about. Again, we're coming from the holy instructions from the prophet dealing with charity, and we entitled this so that our people can differentiate between the last one, Mathenos, lesson number 2. As we can see, as it has already been established, we have demonstrated to our family that the charity that is being spoke of in this special chapter, goes way beyond monetary giving, and giving any form of monetary compensation, so to speak, for one's condition. In all actuality, we see that, true philanthropy, is being demonstrated. And this actually has to do with building up our society as a nation. As we went through the chapter and you heard it, nowhere in there. And this doesn't make, giving one monetary compensation null and void. But what we're saying is that what we are being instructed is being able to give the best of our character to the people. So in order for us to be able to give the best of our character to the people or to this nation, then we have to have that special character to be able to give it. You can't give what you don't have. You see? And so this is what our theme will be tonight as we harp upon this special measure, dealing with the key ayat, as we placed it out here, as Ali promoted his in his government, peace and goodwill, right? And his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. In other words, we know, and we always tell you that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, though not here in the flesh, is not dead, because we know even in the Grand Quran it say, do not say of those who are slain in the way of Allah that they are dead, nay, they live on, though you perceive it not. We also know that we are told that our journey continues and that we have more work to do. Even Prophet Noble Drew Ali went on to say in his oral statements that he could better aid and assist us from the plane of soul. And he also told us there that the enemy cannot hide. And when we look at it from that special measure, we're talking about pure consciousness. The prophet himself is that scimitar of justice that is rotating in a Rotarian complexion on our behalf. From the plane of soul, he's wielding the scimitar. He is the scimitar in rotation around the universal principles and the highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. In ancient Kemet, we called it harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. And this is the same foundation. So knowing that in the teachings of our ancient ancestors, and we always have to revisit this point, when we go into Africa, most of those who have a teaching of spirituality, a teaching that has to do with character building, that represents a particular nation. I don't care if it's Igbo, I don't care if it's Ifa, I don't care if it's Yoruba, Orisha, whichever particular path that one chooses, going back to Kemet, the source of it all. I don't care which area you go into, you see our people speaking of the ability to be able to communicate with their ancestors. And I want to give honors to, a good brother. We was on Sarnetta, he deal with Kemet, and, we often have disagreements. Me and this brother never really had to go back and forth with each other, but just the fact that they A lot of people still believe, after all this overwhelming evidence, that pictures represent a language to be spoken. And I always tell our people, no, this is no different than looking in a photo album. Our ancestors impressed and engraved pictures depicting their way of life and the way they live, and their life works and deeds, and that's what it was. But me and this brother didn't have, an awkward discussion. It was more of me giving honors to the brother as he went into the definition of the name Allah, and showing that it was actually already in the glyphs, and confirmed something that I've been telling our people all the time, you know. And so as I was listening, the brother gave some grand revelations in this particular information, because he actually brought out the information that has to do with connecting Allah to representing pretty much the Ancient of Days, pretty much, divine power and authority. And the brother was on point in a lot of the measures he brought forth. And like I say, we pretty much met. It was a hand clasp for unity, and I just had to give honors to the brother for doing his due diligence. But the main thing that we seen as well is that when one becomes, a particular ruler, when you become an executive ruler, whether you know it or not, you become an extension of the divinity that we call Allah. We always say Allah speaks to man through man. We always say when we look into the face of man, we're looking into the face of Allah. And even in the Grand Quran, it tell you, as we always quote this using the hammer of repetition, that Allah said it doesn't matter whether you turn toward the east nor the west, for whithersoever you turn, there is the presence of Allah. And the word that's used is iwaja, waj, which is synonymous with the Kemetic word wajet. We have to keep bringing this up, because once we go into the definition, it means inner self and inner being. And you understand that your help is at the extension of your arm, the end of your arm. And you've been waiting for someone else to give you a helping hand, so to speak. You see, you already have mended the broken wires, and you're already connected to the higher power. So your hand clasp is really clasping with the consciousness of your own divinity. So this is what we're getting at here. And so we can see that the great God Allah is known as Al-Razak in the Arabic. And Al-Razak, for those who don't know what that means, it means the provider. It means the provider. And so everything that we may receive, whatever it is that we may desire on the plane of things made manifest, it could be anything that we desire. The provision for that which we desire comes from our work and being linked up with the will of deific will. And therefore, you can go back to the old Piscean measure where they say, well, faith is without work is dead. You see, so it is through your own life works, your way, your acts, and your deeds, that you are able to obtain from that provision what is needed or what it is that you desire. It's already there. And so we see that this is coming from the supreme reality that's working through us, but yet utilizing us just as the Elohim was utilized to bring about, the bodies of men and women. And so now we are here on the manifest demonstrating in that same capacity. We are here to be about the business of the great God, and he's working through us in order to help us provide for our people. You see, this is the grandest degree of philanthropy and charity that can be demonstrated. We have been given gifts of the understanding that were brought forth from the treasures of Allah, so that we may be able to bring these riches forth and uplift fallen humanity and take them to the next phase or the next stage in their particular life. So when we say Ali promoted in his government peace and goodwill, we're saying the prophet is actively right now promoting peace and goodwill. And that's why his name is repeated with praise and benediction, meaning his name is oft repeated. This is why he will continue to live as long as we speak his name, as long as we say his name. You see, this was a principle of our ancestors. That's a form of charity, giving the next generation this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have, and passing it on to the generation to come behind that, and so forth and so on. You know the saying, each one teach one. You see? So all of this is charitable. This is the greatest degree of compensation that our people can receive to repair themselves. This is the greatest form of reparations that our people can receive to repair themselves. You see? So this is what we're trying to get at here. And also, we will be remembered in the same way. We will be exalted by doing the works, that we were born to do. So it's a powerful measure, and it's a grand drawing just to be here in this new era in time, and be here in this particular cycle age, in this milestone in the journey of the race. Because we could have been born anywhere in between a 25,000 year cycle. We could have been born 2,000 years ago. We could have been born 4,000 years ago. We could have been born 6,000 years ago. And we can go so forth and so on with these minor cycles until we come into, again, that major cycle of 25,000 years. So we just so happen to be the ones who came in on the cusp of the ages, who came in to bring an end to a need for even calculating the time according to the cycles. Because this will be the grand cycle, by which all other, minor cycles would not necessarily be necessary. Outside of dealing with, a mastery of the self, those cycles we need to constantly be doing. That needs to go on. And I tell our people all the time, when you go from cover to cover in this circle 7, whether we know it or not, this is what determines our true age. It's the cycle age. Multiply that by the amount of time that you've been here. If you've been from cover to cover in your circle 7, on a higher level, dealing with time as we relate to light speed, deal with it from that aspect right there and say, well, okay, I went through it one time, I went through it 2, 3, 4 times, and when you multiply all that right there, if you went through it 3 times, that's 75,000 years. If you're looking in the sense of time, right? Because we're talking about 25,000 year great cycles. But nevertheless, what we're getting at is that we could have been born in any particular time period, but we right here, right now, on the manifest, we are the ones that have been prophesied to come. We are the return of the ancient ones. All of the other ages that came prior to this were the ages of preparation to bring us into this age of fulfillment. You see? So this is the age of fulfillment that we're living in right now. We are the ones who are here to fulfill the works of those who came before us. We are the ones that are here to unravel the mystery of everything that took place in the history that is past, in the lives of those who came before us, all of that in which they had awaited, all of that which had been foretold, all of that which had been spoken of to come, all of that which had been spoken of to be unraveled, is now made manifest and laid bare before us. And so we can't have an excuse, because all of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding has been manifested in this new era in time. That's charity. And in this new era in time, We are the ones here to get the job done. We are not the ones here to try to foretell or speak of more prophecy to come behind us and then use that as an excuse as to why we want to sit on our hands. This is the end time and the fulfillment of prophecies. So if we're dealing with it from that aspect, family, we are the return of the ancient ones. We are the ones whom we await. So if you are waiting for the charity of another master teacher, another mastermind, another prophet, another divine one, if you waiting on that, then take a look in the mirror. You represent him. You represent him. Both brothers and sisters. You represent her, sister. You see? You are the one that has been given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to become a savior of yourself. That's what we are told, right? I remember our brothers and sisters had to measure the nations of God and earth. You know what they say, self or save. You must save yourself from the devil, said civilization. You know, but we understand that the devil is nothing more than the lower self. And the higher self is the God, you know, that governs from the heavens. The heavens represent a state of mind. The heavens represent a state of being. We was emphasizing when we were speaking to our brother about the concept of even Ra. And this is actually coming from, you know, papyri that relates to the Amduat. You know, the papyri of Seti, where it speaks on the destruction of mankind in ancient Kemet. And it was stated that Ra, or Re, you know, after being disappointed, upset, so to speak, with the way that mankind was behaving and he wanted to get rid of them, he basically went into a state of seclusion. And in this seclusion, you know, it was known as Seket Aru, or what we call Seket Allah, the fields of peace. So this is why we tell you in ancient Kemet, Allah represents a state of being. So in all actuality, the supreme being is the state of being. You see, when you have supreme law, when you become supreme law, when you have supreme knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you become the conduit through which that supreme being is working. You see? So basically, Ra said, let me pike it up. I'm going into the sacred garden, but I'm gonna have these individuals on the manifest to continue to do the work. And that I give it honest to our brother because he was speaking of it, you know, going into showing the etymology. And he went so far to show that, you know, Allah is basically working through man. You know, this from the Kemetic standpoint now. The brother also Imhotep, you know. Like I say, we have our differences in certain matters, but in that particular matter, we give honors to the brother for being honest. Because it's not common that you find brothers that went into Kemet, you know, that can recognize that truth of knowing that a lot of these names that have been given, the brother even went so far to say all of those who claim to be those who study Islam, they really are Hotep. This is something our chairman is taught constantly in the Exhuming of a Nation, that Hotep in Islam is the same thing. And so this is what we call bridging the gaps. That's charity. So what is it that we have to promote that same type of charity by using the talents that we have been given, the saving power that we have been given? If you look at Marvel Comics in the DC universe, they will have you think that superpower, come from, a Superman and so forth and so on. And we already know about J.A. Rogers, authorship of, from Superman to man. But when we go into a higher state of vibration, we understand that there's a saving power that has came to us through our ancient forefathers. That's a form of charity. We told you in our last measure that the word zakat and sadaqah, represents charity. But this charity has to do more with a purification of the self, a purification of one's heart and mind. This is mentioned in our 7 acts when Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that we must keep our hearts and minds purified with love. Because you have to have love to want to do better for yourself. You got to have self-love. Because you can't do anything, especially when it comes to trying to give charity if you don't have love. You have to know the self before you can love the self. And then you're able to give what it is that you have received in abundance, of that special love. And that's the greatest compensation that we can give to each other right now in this new era and time. We have to learn to love instead of hate. And that has to do with promoting within this government peace and goodwill. You see? Peace and goodwill. What is peace and goodwill? We had a conversation also with a brother in regards to dealing with, our holy prophet. He didn't want to recognize the prophet as the love thought that was manifested in the new era in time, because he said Prophet Muhammad. And this brother was here from the UK, from over there in London. Noble Drew Ali is, just a bunch of down talking and, craziness. And so the brother asked me, well, where did Noble Drew Ali get his Islamism from? And I told the brother he got it from the adepts in Kemet. The brother didn't want to accept that. Oh no, he got it from the Ahmadiyya movement. Okay, well, brother, you produce that information and prove it. See, what a lot of individuals don't know is that a lot of the information they spew, I done came across and vetted all that stuff, 10 and 20 times over. So you can't get me with that. You see, we are into showing you as opposed to just telling you and thinking we supposed to believe something. We way beyond that right there. And we have records that can back anything it is that we teach or anything that Prophet Noble Drew Ali has taught and he brought to us. That's charity, by us being able to give from that. You see, so as we went on, I told the brother, I said, okay, brother, I said, do you understand the term in the Grand Quran of Muhammad, Khatam al-Nabi'in? And for those who don't know what that means the seal of prophets. And I said, do you understand that that term Khatam existed prior to the Quran even being revealed? Well, you showed me, brother, demonstrated. So I pulled the information out and showed him, in the ancient Comedian transliteration that the word Khatam, meaning seal of the gods. Seal, there's so many different expressions of it. Mir Khatam, the keeper of the seal of love, all types of different measures. But nevertheless, this word was in ancient Kemet before the Quran was revealed. And so the brother kind of got in his feelings. He got upset. He didn't recognize that one was trying to give him charity. You see? Because he believed the Arabized way of life. So nevertheless, we were showing our family, whether we know it or not, when the great God Allah, sent our holy prophet to us, he sent him as an act of charity, whether we know it or not. The greatest act of charity. Every people have their particular grand man that comes to represent the supreme reality. And I give honors to our brother, Asar Imhotep again, because he said, well, Allah, when you get into the highest aspect, this name was given to, the people of Arabia, although I had to go into the Cushite aspect with the brother, he said it was given to him by the Kemites. It's named Allah, and basically he was saying that anytime you have a netter or one that stands in representation of the supreme being, that they basically represent the supreme being. And this is why you have so many people confused, over the great God. In the Piscean records of the Bible, Moses said it straight up. Haven't I not led you 40 years in the night in the wilderness, that you might not know that I am the Lord your God? In other words, he was saying that he was working on the behalf of the Most High. But before he said that, he had been ordained as that according to the Piscean records. Because he says, see, I have made you a god to Pharaoh. This is what Yahweh said. I made you a god to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron should be your prophet. So was Moses wrong for saying, that he was the God that led the Israelites through, the wilderness, according to the translation? Or was he right and exact, and this is the way that one should be demonstrated? Knowing that they are extension of God, not in the arrogant way, I'm exalt my throne above the stars of God, I'm the supreme. Not that arrogance, but knowing that you are extension through deific will. This is when man's will is linked up with deific will. Not that stubborn will, not that rebellious, strong, will, but an active will. You see, that deals with the promotion of peace and goodwill. That's the goodwill. Deific will is the goodwill. So what is the peace? The brothers say, Islamism. What is it? Does Islamism then mean submissionism? Trying to get a one up. And I told the brother, I say, no, Islamism, according to the way that we draw, goes beyond, a prefix or a suffix, expression. We already know it means to be in the practice of, and so forth and so on. And I said, no, we're talking about, instead of being in the practice of peace, we are peace. And this is what I was trying to show the brother. We're talking about the essence of peace, or the reality of peace. This is Islamism. Instead of practicing, we can go and say, okay, I'm a basketball player, so I can practice before I go to the game. And next thing you know, when I get in the game, I got to live it now. I can't be practicing. I can't be competing with my shadow in the game because somebody is there in front of me in reality. You see? And you can look at that in any sport. Or you can look at that in a studying factor. If you are studying something, it's one thing to be in the study of peace, but another thing to be in the action of peace. And so when we say Islamism, we are saying that we are the peace. We are drawing from the essence of the attribute as-salama, the attribute that Allah has, because in this way of life that we demonstrate, we come from the level of what we call the Sebagatala. And the Sebagatala, again, represents in the Grand Quran where it states we take on the religion of Allah, the baptism of Allah in certain translations, what they use. It ain't got nothing to do with you being put in no water. It may be waters of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but not physical water where somebody slam dunking your head behind a church altar somewhere. That's not what it's saying. The word Sebagatala means, a certain mode, certain law, conduct. It means that we are actually trying to live our lives personifying the attributes of Allah. So when we deal with the concept of peace, just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali, his name, Ali, is one of the attributes of Allah, Al-Ali, which means the Most High. Just like we spoke on the other attribute, Al-Razak, the provider. You see, Al-Hakim, the wise. You see, all of these things the Creator expresses through us. If he wants to manifest his wisdom, he manifests it through us. That's a form of divine charity. coming from on high. Wisdom speak from out of the highest plane of spirit life. But do we have the ears to hear it? Do we have the heart to sympathize with it? That's the question. And the same thing can deal with knowledge. If he wants some knowledge, he manifests the knowledge to you through somebody that look like you. This is what they haven't been teaching the people. And this is why our people have been so out of touch with the supreme reality of their own God state. And we give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali for bringing that wisdom to us, that we may know that Allah's spirit clothed was a man is spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. You see, this is what we teach. And so when we look at it from that aspect, then we have to embody this. If it is a part and parcel of our character, if we have these attributes in us, then we must personify them, so that those who are in need or in want will be able to receive from their benefactor the benefit of whatever it is that we have to bring. All of us have a particular purpose for which we were born. All of us have particular talents, in plural. Not just one talent, but some of us have multiple talents. We are multi-talented people. But our talent becomes a waste when we allow ourselves to be misused. We allow ourselves to be exploited by those who don't honor, who we truly are. And you can never expect your slave master, slave breaker, slave catcher, slave holder to tell you of your power. Because if he tells you of your power, then you will begin to utilize that same power, to remove the yoke of oppression. So it wouldn't make sense to tell you that or teach you that which will empower you. And that's why we had to have one raised up from amongst us to teach us that which will empower us. And he did so by, again, mending the broken wires and connecting us to the higher power. That higher power is manifest through us as saving power. When we go into the teaching of our ancestors off of the west coast of Africa, the Sera people, and they talked about the Setelju, which represents the priesthood, of the Sera people. They spoke of when these ones come together in oneness and they chant, they recite, all this truth and this love and this peace to the universe. This is when they are most powerful. And this is what we have lacked in this era and time that we live in. The ability to come together and hold one thought simultaneously, hold one thought collectively, hold one thought unanimously. And this is why we continue to be overthrown, because we can't do it by ourselves. And that's the worst thing that Rome has tried to teach our people. They tell you do it by yourself, but when Rome raised up their seeds, they still got their seeds right there in the house with them. When you see the people in Mexico, our brothers and sisters from there, they still got their brothers and sisters, their mamas, their uncles and cousins right there with them. But we've been taught, on the other hand, to push each other out of the nest, so to speak. Now, there comes a time for that, too, when you have one that is, acting a donkey, so to speak, and you may have to excommunicate them a little while. But I'm talking about the very aspect of, breaking our family unit up. They have taught us, to exile each other as they exiled us during the time of slavery. First and foremost, you take the man, from the family structure and the family unit, and this is like cutting the light out in cosmology, taking the sun from the universe. You know, what a moon gonna get light to reflect to the stars if there's no sun? You already know this right here will be the end, you know, of our particular galaxy if the sun would have just disappeared and somebody would just to move it out, you know, of its particular position. We know that ain't even possible for man to do, but if an event like that came, y'all already know what'll take place. Either you would go closer to it by the pull, you know, of gravity, so to speak, and burn up, you know, you would basically go further out from it. And hopefully you might be able to fall into the orbit of another, you know, area without colliding with something, you know, and so forth and so on. But nevertheless, you can't have a universe without the Son, and you can't have a true founder without the God man, the Father. This is what charity starts. When they say charity, you know, it works at home and abroad. It has to start at home. But what if you ain't got nobody there to give charity? What if you ain't got nobody there to be charitable or teach you philanthropy and what it really means? Then what you gonna have? Well, we already know. We ain't got to go into that and keep harping on that. But we just want to point that out, family. What I'm gonna do, you know, as we speaking on this particular measure, I'm gonna go into a few drawings here and just go into my definitions because I like to give our family some insight and inform them. Let me see here. Okay, it wasn't this one right here. It was actually okay, here we go. And I can just go through here the different areas. And this is actually the root asma, where the word ism in Arabic come from. That's what I'm trying to get to. So let me see. I may be able to do it this way. Because I see it's a lot of hits right there. I don't want to go through all of those. Let me see. If I don't, I'll go back to that. It's still in the same area there. That's a lot more too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this right here. I do it this way. Go back to the root. I'm going to do this first. Because we're talking about peace. And I want our people to see how many definitions of the word peace is here. And then we're going to go into the other portion, Islam, in the Arabic. Islam, and we're going to deal with Islam first. Okay. Okay, so that's in the same area of it. So let me let them come up here. I can go to going into it, right? Go here and I see what they're doing. I want to go to the actual words. These are all definitions of it, but I want to go to the actual. Hold up. Let me see that I go past it. No, let me keep going a little bit here. Okay, let's see here. We got it. We got a couple of words we want to deal with. I tell our family all the time too, when it comes to dealing with this expression, you know, Islam is actually just, you know, the beginning, you know, and then when you go from the level of Islam, there's another measure that has to do with what we call Ihsan. They actually had the definition right here too. I see Sabaga. Okay, here we go, right here. For the people who don't know, this is very important. The root of the word Islam, you know, is Salima, right? Salima, or sometimes people say Salama or Salam, right? And this is why you will see Muslim, Islam, and so forth and so on. So it says it means to be in a sound condition. It means to be without a blemish, safe and sound. See, they don't go into all of that, right? They just tell you it means peace, right? But they don't tell you what that condition of peace, you know, is founded upon. So salam, safety. So you have to ask yourself, when you talk about peace and goodwill to men, and we're saying Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us this, you know, and this is what he was demonstrating here at the level of government, and this is what he's demonstrating now. This is where your safety and your security come from. Your security and safety come from being under your own one free national name, having your own government, building your own nation, demonstrating self-determination. This is the only place that we can find security as a people. Okay. Also, immunity. A lot of our people go into the European courts thinking that they're going to have some form of immunity, and find out, nope, it don't work like that. Slaves don't have no immunity. Slaves represent property. When have you ever known a property being immune to being sold? When have you ever known a property being immune of being just done everything with, so to speak? Property is property. People do what they want to do with it because they own it. So property is not safe from being traded and bartered with. And so were our ancestors when we were considered chattel property, and those who are considered property now. You ain't safe in that state. You're not safe being a nationless, stateless people. We are not safe, family, in that state. So anyway, freedom from fault or defects, imperfection, blemish, pardon self, or vice, peace, okay, obedience, heaven. See, this is the real concept. Now, the translator who translates a particular text of Quran has the choice to choose from either one of these words when he's dealing with his translation. You know, and they choose to say, well, it simply means peace, but they can actually say, well, it means obedience. You know, that's actually one of the wrongs on the 12-step ladder. The first wrong, to be exact, right? So when we get into that aspect right there, and we also know, oh man, it goes on and on and on. In other words, it says the word has a much wider meaning than merely abstinence from strife, and involves prosperity, good health, wholeness, and completeness. In every way, salam is also one of the names of Allah. I said that earlier, right? Salamun, peace, silmun, right? Then it says obedience to the doctrine of peace, Islam. So it's one thing to practice it, but another thing to be obedient to it. Not because somebody told you they're going to kill you if you don't do the right thing, but because you know it's the right thing to do. You don't have to be told to be yourself when it's a good thing to be. You love being yourself. You love being some love. You love being some truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If you have a conscience, if you have a knowledge of your higher self, if you are conscious of your own divinity, you see? So we have to go back to a state where we didn't have to be taught love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, but a state in which we are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So again, it goes on a treaty of peace, which is known as istaslama, to follow the right path. Everybody know if you follow the right path, then you're going to be in a peaceful state. If you go down the wrong path, then you're going to have some situation that's going to give you some headaches, heartache, and pain. And the only way you'll keep going down that path, you are pain-free. and I don't like pain, you know, so forth and so on, you know. So Salima also means gender, tender, soft, elegant, graceful, nice woman. Salim. I know that's what all of our brothers look for in our goddess and queen. You know, and goddesses and queen look for that in brothers too. So anyway, Salim, safe, secure, perfect, sincere. Oh, so we see that there's a connection between the rung of the 12-step ladder and the rung of the 7 degrees of self-mastery. Sincerity is the first degree. We have to learn to obey the higher dictates of life. Obey. Oh, you governor. Oh, learn to govern yourself. We must learn to govern ourselves before we can govern others. Oh, executive ruler. It is for these reasons that these ensigns have been given. So one who is safe, salama, to preserve, give salvation, salimu, salute, say peace be upon you, right? Musalimatu, hand it over, sound. Aslama, to submit, resign oneself. That's a problem that we have. We don't know it, but I say it all the time. When the great God Allah was bringing man on the manifest, he told the angels to prostrate and Iblis to prostrate before the man. He wasn't saying that because he was telling them to submit to the flesh. He wanted them to recognize that Ruah, that God, that breath that he had breathed into man, a portion of himself. You see? So we have to be able to see that part in us and be able to submit to that in each other. That's what real concept of that means. And that has to do with first what we call going beyond mere submission into conforming to the will of the Creator. Conform means to take on the attributes, take on the characteristics. You see? When our people come into our presence, they should be as secure as they do when they think of the great God Allah being able to provide for them. So we have to learn how to be humble in each other's presence. Respect the God in each other's brothers. Respect the God in each other's sister goddesses. Stop looking at the manifest. That's what caused Iblis to fall in vibration. And you know, when you come up out of that 9.63 frequency, you come out of that God frequency, you subject, to any form of abuse, misuse, and mistreatment, whatever onslaught come at you, you're weak as creek water. You can't fight it off because your frequency too low. Cymatics is real, family. So anyway, as we go on, the definition of aslama means to submit, resign oneself, Islam, peace, way to peace, or submission. It's showing you that the way to peace is basically honoring the God self in each other. It says the only true religion which was professed by all the prophets from Adam to Muhammad. And when this is said, a lot of people get it twisted and go to saying, all right, well, how is going to say that when Muhammad didn't come to the since 610, the Hijra, so it's the 16 AD after the sin of Yahushua, how it was the religion. It's saying that peace, even though the word salam may have not been used, we go back to Kemet, we see the word hotep being used. Peace has always been the teaching, peace and goodwill. You see, this is what it is. So anyway, it says Solomon, the diminutive form of Solomon, which also the name of the prophet Solomon, son of David, Solomon. Now check this out. Stairway, ladder, stairs, steps, means by which one reaches the height and becomes immune to evil and secure. There it is. I was just talking about being up there in that God frequency. And this God frequency is part and parcel of our DNA. The memory is there in our RNA. When you look at the DNA and its structure, there are rungs upon the heliaxial ladder. Even in the Piscean records, they spoke of, the brother Jacob saying that he seen the angels ascending and descending on this special ladder, and the God was at the top. And he was being told about his ancestry, and everything it is that will be given. So we have the ability to climb that ladder as well. It's in our divine nature, the divine nature of the all, DNA, divine nature of Allah. It's in us to be what's in us. We already know at the cellular level all of those elements that make up this form, The DNA is encoded with the name of the Creator. So it's already there. It's in us. You see? So when you go into the aspect of ascending, you trying to reach the epitome or the pinnacle of wisdom, and this is where you become secure and immune to any attacks that one be trying to make upon you. This means that you have become love, you have become truth, you have become peace, freedom, and justice. When you become love, can't nobody move you from that love and make you hate. When you become truth, can't nobody pull you out of the realm of truth into falsehood. When you become peace, can't nobody make you, be war-ridden, unless you're not truly linked up to the source, unless you're not truly plugged in. You may be halfway plugged in. You see, somebody might have tripped over your cord or something. So anyway, Suleiman, the prophet, second king of the United Israeli kingdom, who succeeded his father David. They're just giving the history of Solomon here. We already know about it. But I'm just showing you this definition of peace just goes on and on and on. We can keep going. And then it comes all the way to Islam, and it deals with Islam being the name of the creed preached by Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, we already know about Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaching us nationality and divine creed. We use the term religion for those who may not know, as we know, old time religion is but we're talking about a way of life that's based upon the creed of our ancestors. You see? But anyway, it went on to say it has been the religion of all the prophets in all times, and everyone can embrace it by accepting the unity and soulness of God, and that Muhammad is his prophet. And that's the message of the basic aspect of the Grand Quran. And this is what a brother got caught up at, because he say, well, how Noble Drew Ali gonna be a prophet? Well, go ask Aisha then, his wife, why she said, say he is the seal of the prophets, but do not say he is the last. And this is Sahih Hadith. For those who don't know what Sahih means, that means it's sound, that means it's good. And according to the teaching of Islam, Al-Islam, anything considered sound must be accepted. So if it's a sound hadith coming from Sahih Muslim, and Aisha said, say he is the seal of the prophets, but do not say he is the last, then what is wrong with you? Any other time you want to accept the hadith over the Quran? Because the Quran don't say that Muhammad was the seal of the prophets in the way that the Arabs say it, meaning he the last. It's saying that seal in the sense that it is a stamp of authenticity. Meaning if you don't believe in him, he the most high prophet anyway. That's all it's standing on. The same way we say Prophet Noble Drew Ali is our prophet in this new era in time, and he said that one day he's going to raise up a witness from amongst all people. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was that witness. And we are witnesses of him. We bear witness to him and the other prophets that came before him. In fact, what people don't know about the Grand Quran, there's so much charity that has been given, from the great God when it comes to revealing revelations and sending messengers to men, and they end up killing them off, going in opposition, want to go to war with the people that were sent to them. And we have that same thing going on right now when it comes to this government. Those who want to, compete with their officials and go in opposition. And, that's why the prophet say he can work from the plane of soul, because there the enemy can't hide. It don't mean that he want to kill the enemy off. Now, he said that some of them can't do nothing but die. But the thing is, he's working from the plane of soul to try to mold your heart into being able to love. If you'll let him. But if you're hell-bent on being in opposition, well, you already know what come out of that. Bad news gonna beat you home when it comes to karma. So it has been the religion of all prophets in the times. Every one can embrace it by accepting the unity and soulness of God, and that Muhammad is his prophet. No one can turn him out of the pale of Islam as long as he accepted the above formula, literally in practice. It is a religion of peace, self-surrender, submission, resignation to the will, the service, and the commands of God. Peace. Man, this thing going. Y'all see how long this definition of peace is and how many choices translators have, what they can choose, when it comes to trying to deal with certain words. They go into all the words, Assalamu, showing you peace. I have submitted, submit, submit themselves. Assalamatum, Assalamna, you have submitted, Yuslimu, obey and have submitted. Uslima, I submit. Yuslimuna, they submit. Nuslima, so we see the root of the word is silam in all these words. So when you see a word like that, know that it has to do with peace. That's how you deal with roots. So complete submission to God, not to man, to the great God within you, the higher self, your higher consciousness. We don't teach people to submit to no spook God. We tell our people to submit to the higher state of consciousness, the God within the Godhead. And that's what makes you a real God body. So the religion of Islam, peace, submission, to be wholly possessed by someone. Salimun, they are safe and sound, peace. Salam, man, look at this here. Y'all see how far this definition going? Free from all taint and vice. Free from strife. This is where your prosperity and good health and all that come from. One who surrenders himself to the will of God. That's linking your will up with the deific will, conformity. That's why it says in Surah 2, Ayat 115 and 112, whithersoever you turn, there's the face of Allah, the presence of Allah. Whosoever submits his whole will, that's the same word they use. One who says that his faith is Islam, one who accepts the unity. So if you don't have unity in you, you really ain't peaceful, because you can't have unity without peace. In unity, there's strength. So if you don't have the strength to be peaceful, then you don't have unity. So yeah, man, it's going all into the word Muslim and Muslim, peace of mind, peace with other fellow beings, peace with oneself. And it pretty much ends right there. That's what, Islam is when you look at it from a broader perspective, right? So now let me go over here to this other word, because I want to make sure I have time to demonstrate. Okay. That's not the one I'm looking for right there. Give me 1 second. You know what? I can do it this way here. Okay. It should give us what we're looking for. I'm looking for the ism. Here it is right here. So for those who have been attaching the European, suffix, in regards to dealing with the concept of what we call ism, dealing with being in the practice of and so forth and so on. We at this particular level see that there's a word in the Arabic, and this root word sama is where it lies at. So basically, if you were to deal with ism, which come from the word sama, and for those who know about the 99 attributes of the great God Allah, they call them al-asfa, al-asma wa sifa, the most beautiful names. That's what his word asma come from. But it says it means to be high, to be raised, lofty. The name and the attribute of samawat, heights, the heavens. You see, raining clouds. Ismun, mark of identification by which one is recognized. It is a derivative of wasam, which means the plural asma, wasma, right? And then ism, this is what we're looking at, stands for a distinguishing mark of a thing. But in the view of the learned, it sometimes signifies its reality. So if we take that ism and attach it to the word Islam as we just went over Islam. Now we're talking about the reality of peace. You see, instead of trying to practice peace or trying to be about peace, you are now in the reality of peace, and that only comes through the attribute. So it said it also means name, there you go, an attribute. In the Holy Quran, the formula Bismillah is used in both senses. It refers to Allah, which is the personal name of Almighty, the Almighty, right? And it refers to Al-Rahman, the most gracious, Al-Rahim, the ever merciful. You see, which are his attributes. You see? And it says, according to some authorities, as Raqib, the word ism is a derivative of smu. It says, and it actually means to be high and raised. It says, in the word in Bismillah, the name Allah possessed these characteristics as he is the very apex of beauty, love, and beneficence, and the most gracious, the ever merciful. So when we say Islamism, we're not talking about, worldly peace. Because we already know our people sleep in the arms of death when it comes to worldly peace. We're talking about a peace that is the very apex of peace. The peace of the great God and God consciousness is not like the peace of earthly man. Because carnal man is peaceful when you're doing what you want him to do. You see what I'm saying? Or what he wants you to do. And so forth and so on. Carnal man is peaceful, when he can have what he's looking for. Carnal man is peaceful when everything is going his way. Carnal man is peaceful when he can drain you and leech off of you and suck you dry and you don't say nothing, you just keep doing it. You see, that's when carnal man is peaceful with you. But when you deal with the supreme reality, his peace doesn't change. It's not based on conditions of what you do, because if that was the case, a lot of us would be in trouble. So when you in the higher self, that's how you got to demonstrate. It's called unconditional love. If you purify your heart and mind with love, your love ain't based on, yeah, that one did something to me way back during this time. Or that one did this, that one did that. I give praise to the great God Allah for giving me the type of spirit to where I don't hold grudges with people. You see, for what they do. Forgive them for not forgive them for what they don't know that they're doing. If that wasn't a person, the great God Allah definitely gave me that characteristic right there. By the time, it's done been a conflict, I done already got over it. But some people can't get over it because they are unable to submit to the God in you. I can submit to the God in others. I can conform my will with the will of others in love. But it's just my experience. In many cases, you have those who just upset with you and don't know why they mad. But that's a whole nother measure. But we can go on and on and on with this word, as it goes back to, because it's very long too. But the Islam actually means to be in the reality of. So when we talk about our Islamism, we're speaking of being in the reality of peace. We're no longer in a practicing state. That's just like when we come into Islam, and like I said, they try to make it a religion. Well, what about Iman? What about Ihsan? Because Ihsan on that 3-step ladder is the highest rung. Why you don't hear people talking about that? The only place you'll hear people talking about Ihsan, is in Sufism. You see? That's the only place you'll see people talking about that. See right here, the root of that is Husna. You see? Husna. Now watch this. Watch this. Husna, which is the root of the word Hassan. For those who don't know, When we go into the teaching and the way they came to us, if you go into what they call the Pajtin Pak, or the 5 purified ones of the Alabate, Al and Bay, the house, of Muhammad, from Fatima, who we quoted earlier, which is his, well, actually we quoted Aisha, but Fatima, which is his daughter, and then you had Ali, and then you had their sons, Hassan and Hussein. That completed the 5 purified ones, and that's a representation, of the 5 points, being under that scimitar that Jibril gave to Muhammad, that represented their family. But these ones were the ones that the gateway of knowledge was brought forth on a lot of spiritual teachings in that particular doctrine of al-Islam. But anyway, Hassan and Husuna, they both have a root, just like Rahman and Rahim deal with mercy. This actually is connected to the same root, and it means to be handsome. It means make good, seem good, or beautiful, be excellent, well-doer, beautiful, good. It has been explained by the Holy Prophet, you become a mushin if you pray and worship Allah in such a way in spirit and certitude that you feel you are seeing him, or with a lower degree of certainty that you at least feel that he is seeing you. So this word mushin, because Muslim, mu'min, and mushin is the highest degree on that 3-step ladder, doer of good deeds. The word mushin in root is also connected with the word ihsan, which is the highest degree on the rung from Islam to Imam to ihsan. So at the highest of the heights, you are to become a doer of good deeds. That's what your submission should lead to. That's what your conformity to the will should lead to. You see, if you pray and worship in such a way in spirit of certitude that you feel you see the great God Allah, or with the lower degree of certainty that or feel that he see you, Husna, she become excellent. Asana, see, he did good, did excellently, very kind. They did good. You did good. They do good. You do good. Essen, right? Make me think about Essens. But anyway, thou did good. Essenu, essenu. You do good. Essen, kindness. Mushin, well-doer. Beautiful, good. Mushinun, musinun, well-doers. That's the plural of it, right? Husanan, well, good. Husanatun, right? Good. Husanat, good deeds. Husna, al-asma wa husna. That's why I said the most beautiful names. So that ism, that asma that I was speaking of earlier. You see, asana, elative, good reward, beauty. Husinun, beauty. Husainiyin, right? 2 good things. Hisan, beautiful. This is all dealing with beauty. It's a beautiful thing to be a doer of good deeds. It's an ugly thing to be a doer of bad deeds. We all know that. It don't take rocket science to figure that out, do it? So these are some powerful entries. When you see the essence of the meta, essentially, if we go into the aspect of dealing with sense, knowing who it is to be the high self, and we dealing with a high sense of thinking, then yeah, it's all about peace and goodwill to the Moorish American national. It's about peace and goodwill to those who are not Moorish American nationals as well. We ain't a war-ridden people that want to go to war and tear something up. We don't think like the Arabs. We do not think with the ways of Arabia. So don't put that on the Moorish American Muslims. They ain't even living by the laws of Quran. You see what they saying here, what peace represent. You didn't see damn time in here where it was saying, if somebody disturb your peace, go take the scimitar to them. No, you use the scimitar to cut away the ungainly parts that are in your lower self. That's consciousness. You have to be consciousness of your divinity to be the God that you are. Slaves don't know how to wear no scimitar. They scared. Because remember, they scared to think of free thought. Master gonna get us if we think like this. Be ducking and looking around and carrying on because you hear somebody talking free. So, hold up. I got another measure here I want to bring forth. What in the world? Okay, we'll do it like this here. It looked like it done closed up my little. Okay, there we go. We got our one to back up here. So, I want to touch on some things here too. This is coming from the exegesis. And these two books that I'm coming from, the exegesis of the Quran and the Quranic dictionary, is actually written by husband and wife. You know, one written the exegesis and one wrote the dictionary. You know, very powerful measure. So let me go into this special drawing here because I want to go into certain measures, and we're gonna open up the floor in a second here. So remember, Moorish Ken, you know, this is a grand drawing, but Ali, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, working from the plane of soul, man, to teach us. He giving us that, you know, peace and goodwill, teaching us how to demonstrate peace and goodwill. We got to learn how to do it, you know. And they got many entries in here. Look at it's so many. It's sub-mails. You know, there's a particular one that I'm trying to find right here. So we was talking about that earlier. You know, the difference between Allah's peace and the peace, you know, of man, so to speak. Which one was it I had up there earlier? Okay, here we go, right here. It says the highest in rank are those who, having given up their vices, are now free from every low desire. They find the joy in their hearts in the worship of their Lord, who is their only ilah. Surah 2, Ayat 163, who is the controller of their hearts, and their only object of love and adoration is Allah. In this exalted stage of pure and perfect sincerity, truth and righteousness, their soul is at peace. And this is what we call Nafs il-Mutma'ina, Surah 89:27. It is this soul that is rewarded by the Almighty, who grants him heaven of peace in this very life and in the hereafter. For those who don't know, this would be equivalent to Sekhet Aru, Sekhet Allah, that state that Ra went into in ancient Kemet, the garden of peace, the fields of peace. And it is said in the same way in the Quran that when the soul has become completely satisfied, that it goes into the state of peace, and Allah welcomes one into that state of peace. You don't have to die to go into that state. You can receive that state of peace while you're still here. And once you go into this special state of peace, now you can lower the inflammation, you know, within the body. You know, you can lower, you know, the anxiety. You can heal yourself. You see? But you got to be active in the peace. Powerful demonstration. It's another measure I was going to go to too. I think that's the one that. Okay. I'm missing right here. Yeah, this one right here. For those who like to go back and forth over belief. It says, and this right here is actually coming from this particular ayat here. It says, and we sent no messenger before you, pardon self, but we revealed to him, saying, the truth is that there is no other and cannot be and would never be one worthy of worship but me. Therefore, worship me alone. Right? That's the same teaching here, Israel, Lord our God is one. In the Piscean records, right? But it say these words tells us that Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, the Sikh faith, or any other faith are but different aspects of one and the same religion, which in its original purity conveyed the same message of the unity of God. The purpose of the religions was the submission to the will of the one deity and to make peace with their creator and his creation. Therefore, you should respect their religious founders, since this is the foundation of a universal brotherhood. His Rahmaniyat abolishes all individual and racial distinctions and confirms that the noble among us in the sight of Allah is he who guards against evil and who is the righteous, the Mushinun. You see, this is the same thing, family. So that's what your peace should come from. Look at here. This is also very important, especially for the Moors to hear. It says, surely those, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, it says, surely those who profess to believe in Islam and peace, and those who follow the Jewish faith, the Christians, and the Sabians, and it's talking about the Nazarene, the word they use for this word, they translate it as Christian, but really talking about the Nazarites. So it's saying those who follow the way of the Nazarites and the Sabians, whosoever of these truly believes in Allah in the last day and acts righteously, shall have their reward with their Lord and shall have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. So this kills the concept of people thinking, that you got to follow the way of the Arabs, in their particular way, because Allah blessed them with what they call their measure. It says, it's a measure in Quran where it says, count not your favor of Islam as a favor upon me. The Quran was basically sent to bring balance to those things that people believed before the Quran was revealed. So whatever your way of life is, if you are able to gauge it according to the measure, of dealing with that which will bring you in unity and oneness with the great God and oneness with humanity, you can call yourself by what you call yourself by. You just got to correct, the things that are not correct, so to speak, on a man. So I tell our family all the time that our Moorish paradigm goes back to the Sabians. And for those who know who the Sabians was, these were the people that raised Muhammad up, the Sabi'un Hunafa. That's who he was with before he became a prophet. That's where he became known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. The Sabians, where he got the modes of the type of prayer that he does. The way that they demonstrated the Salat and so forth and so on. That come from the Sabian Cushites. You see, but these are the ancestors of the Moors as well. The Damari, who later became known as the Syrian people, Sadr people, coming straight out of the Sudan or the Cushitic region of Tarseti. You see, these were the founders of Kemet, the Cushites. But these same people coming all the way over to the Syria people, that name Sabian, the root of it also being Sabi. Sabi is said to be the seed of Akhnut, and Akhnut being synonymous with Tehudi if we go into the Kemetic teaching. So the Sabians also trace themselves back to Tehudi, when it comes to the wisdom that they teach. This is why your teachings like, mystic Islam and Sufism, which deals with the spiritual, Tasawwuf, and Sabian also deals with 7. So they often they prayed 7 times a day amongst the Sabian way of life. A lot of people don't know when you deal with the Sabians as well, understanding 7, you go to the Syria people, and you get into the knowledge of Unir, which represents the star of Cyrus or Sirius, the dog star as they like to call it. This was teaching going into the Dogon, but also dealing with the Syria people. They have what we call Syra-nimbus, which deal with their gematria. And in that gematria, they say that the woman represents the number 3 and man represents the number 4. And their unity brings about a family which represents the number 7. This is our people teaching. So a lot of the teachings of the Syria people most definitely are inherited, by us. But this is what we deal with. This is the part we follow. This is our Islamism. It comes through that of the Sabians. There's also a whole chapter dedicated to the Sabians, in the Grand Quran, and it tell you they were great builders. The Cushites, they were great builders. We see the monuments they left behind. You see, so this is some powerful information, family. We can go on and on and on with this, but again, it says here, his servant is Navs Mutmaina, the soul at peace, with whom the Lord is well pleased, and the soul is well pleased with his Lord. This ultimate state of comfort and peace is the greatest blessing of prayer and worship that can be attained. This is what Prophet Noble Ali brought to the Moors. Our government is the only thing that can bring us into peace. Government is the only apparatus. They say, well, how are we going to be able to bring all our people together under our own government and let them unfold as they unfold? We just got to come together in that oneness, in that unity, and be doers of good deed. Peace and goodwill is what we got to demonstrate. That's the measure of this new era in time, because without peace and goodwill, we won't be able to build anything. We got to learn to respect each other's gifts, family. What we don't say a lot. So we just want to say praise to the great God Allah and honors to his holy prophet Noble Drew Ali for continuing his measure and being true to his promise to teach his people from the plane of soul. Because the enemy, that have made themselves such among our people can't hide. We see clearly, and we are definitely here on the manifest to build and not destroy. So, it's a grand drawing, family. I just wanted to add that to the manifest. And remember, our subject title, is again dealing with the holy instruction from the prophet, charity. And this is a charitable event that we demonstrating right now. What are we giving? That which is from the higher self. But when you go through that chapter, and I'm going to show this to our family that don't know what I'm referencing briefly. Listen to the words and you'll notice it ain't got nothing to do with money or monetary compensation. This charity has to do with being able to give that which is of your higher self. Right here, for those who didn't hear it. Look, holy instruction from the prophet, charity. Now you think this is going to be talking about giving a whole bunch of people money. Nothing wrong with that, because I do it all the time. But we're talking about what this is dedicated to. This is why these teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't ordinary. They ain't something you can just write off. Listen, he say, happy is the man who have sown in his breast seeds of benevolence. That's what we dealt with last week, right? From the fountain of his heart shall rise rivers of goodness, and the stream shall overflow for the benefit of mankind. See, your heart got to have it in you. You see, if you ain't got it in your heart, and your heart ain't got it in you, then how you gonna give something you ain't got? So it say he assisted the poor in their trouble. He rejoiced in the furthering the prosperity of all men. Ain't that's the message that we was demonstrating tonight? Just by giving the definition of the words, he censoreth not his neighbor. He don't try to censor and control nobody, what they gonna try to say, and he believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence, and neither repeateth he their slanders. He ain't got his jaws all balled up at his family because of what somebody else said. Okay, he forgiveth the injuries of men. He wiped them from his remembrance. Revenge and malice have no place in his heart. This is all charity, family, to have a mindset like this. For evil, he returneth not evil. He know that he got a bunch of individuals that hate him. He know he got a lot of people that don't like him. But he hated not even his enemies, but requited their injustice with a friendly admonition. Know that he wishing bad on him, but he ain't wishing the same thing on them. But he know the adversary is there. I remember our brother Malcolm went out. Malik Shabazz went out on stage one time and he said, brothers and sisters, you know, and I see some enemies. He said, I'd be a fool to think that there's this many people out here, this all this, and I ain't got some enemies out there. But anyway, it says, the griefs and anxieties of men excite his compassion. He endeavored to alleviate the weight of their misfortunes. This is the character that we trying to build right here, family. You build this character, you love true peace, freedom, and justice made manifest. And the pleasure of success rewardeth his labor. He calmeth the fury. He healeth the quarrels of angry men. When you demonstrate peace after a while, some of them people that hate you, they're going to start coming around. You soften the wax. So anyway, it prevented the mischiefs of strife and animosity. He promoted in his neighborhood peace and goodwill. And his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. A good name is better than gold, family. That being said, I want to open up the floor now to our family so that they can bring forth their measure. And we say gratitude, peace, love, and loss. Star 6 your phone, family. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curtis Bay. What have you to say, Goddess and Queen?
Islam. Dendra Kurtabe. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to you, National Sister Grand Sheik. Woo, for this powerful class tonight, man. I just sit back and I'm just enjoying everything. Wonderful class. And your subject, your title was Ali promote in his government peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benediction. Yes. And what really stood out to me when you first started talking out, because this chapter is about charity, and you were showing us how charity is not always monetary. And when I think about charity, I thought about the greatest act of charity was when our holy prophet came to give us everything to save a nation. And then he turned around and say, now you take it and save yourself. And then you also, I loved it when you was talking about how in our culture, and a lot of times I've wondered about us as a nation of people. You talked about how we would exile our family members, and of course, at due time, we have to, kind of let them go or push them out of nest or whatnot. But you talked about how we was ingrained. It was ingrained in us to basically get rid of them and push them out, and a lot of times without any training or whatnot. And that was a design to keep the family apart. And I always wondered why all other nations, all other cultures of people, they would come together, work together. You have 10 families staying in one house, and they would get together and come, and that one to help one to get out, they would help each one to get out, and then and get them started in their businesses and things of this nature, and then turn around and all of them that help one another, then they turn around and help the parent. The parent wouldn't have to do nothing. I always wonder why we never thought that way, but it was our mindset, and our prophets say we suffer from mental slavery. And the last but not least, you talked about peace, and I tell you, God, man, that peace that you talked about, it only comes from the great God Allah. Like you said, a lot of times we have peace when everything is going well, but when things start falling apart, where is your peace? And the only way you're going to get that peace is go within. It's got to come from the great God Allah, from within. So that's all I'm going to share right now, great man. This was a powerful class. You shared so many different measures and things, and I could go on further, but due to time, I want to give my uttermost kin room to give their measures. So gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. Peace and love.
Islamism. Gratitude, goddess and queen. We give honors to you for that peaceful vibration. Peace and love. Well, all right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Seems like everybody done started getting real busy on that Saturday night, huh? Islam. Is there any other more who would like to exercise their five and come forth and give their portion? This is not my perspectives. This is the perspectives of the people. You support that in which you love. Okay, I guess y'all making a statement then, huh? All right. Well, what I'll do, I'll go straight to the officials right now. Let me call for Sister All Moon L. Islam, you there, goddess and queen?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. More gratitude. First, let me rise and give our praises to Allah.
Islam. Pardon me. I had a little mission to do, and so that's why I couldn't hear. I could, but if you want to go ahead and go to the officials, that's all good.
Islam, we'll let if the sister honor your brother with that draw and all is well. I ain't got no problem with you speaking. If Sister All is all right with that, all is well. Islam, goddess, are you all right with the brother coming forth to give his measure?
No problem. All is well.
All right. Go ahead, brother.
Gratitude.
Islam.
Gratitude, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm on the job. Okay, well, this is Dr. Marvin Evans Day, Consul General of the Texas Consulate, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali. Give high honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give high honors to our Act 1. I give high honors to all of our officials. I give high honors to this class, our Moorish Perspectives class, as well as I give honors to you, Dr. Shedu Aminti Moheti Sexuel, our national assistant grand sheik of Moorish America, and host and instructor of this most powerful Moorish Perspectives class. As well as I give honors to all those that aided in bringing forth this class this evening. I give honors to everything that is Moorish. Our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, Holy Quran, Book of Ali, our 101, 102, like human of a nation. All of our divine revelations I give honor. I give honor to the forerunners, Dr. Marcus Ponce Gabriel, as well as I give honor to the ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. We are the return of the ancient ones. I give honor to all those that gave their measures before me, and all that will give their measures after me. Yeah, pie in the body. I was trying to be in touch, but had to make a move. So we were talking about Islam. I know you came from an ayat from the Quran. Islam?
Yeah, Islam. Yeah, I was coming from Ayat 9, good brother. If you have, you need me to get that to you, you got it.
I got it. I'm just trying to get it set.
And it's Allah.
Okay.
Ali promoteth his government in peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benedictions, good brother.
Yes, sir. Gratitude. And I do concur with that. That's the most powerful demonstration. And as a matter of fact, you went into that piece. I love how you broke it down. You say you was coming from the dictionary, Arabic, the Quran dictionary, and the exegesis of the Quran. And that was powerful. Like you say, in the translation or transliteration of the words, one, there are so many words that can be chosen, and they sell it with peace, but you Now I'm all disheveled. But you talked about how it was even obedience. You know what I mean? And you spoke on how that was the first one on that 12 crown jewel. I mean, about 12-step letter. You know what I mean? And you just went into the different aspects. You talk about sincerity. Sincerity was connected to that piece. You know what I mean? And how that's part of our that initiation. You know what I mean? Going through those 7 degrees. Sincerity being the first. And it just opens it up to, and you also went into ism. Like I said, I misplaced my notes that I was taking. You give me a measure, but it all just expands on terminology. That it's not just that European demonstration of the study of, peace, and I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, and we have to continue to give honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the highest honors, because before our prophet came to us, to the world, when he came to us first, giving us the opportunity because we were brought down so low. No one came to our rescue, so to speak. And he brought us salvation. You know what I mean? And he brought us the love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the highest principle known to man. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to say, examine, explore, to study. What the prophet brought us, because he brought us so much. I mean, we can't begin to say repay, and there's no question of repaying the prophet. But I think the highest repayment would be for us to live these lessons, live these laws, as we talked about last night about the laws. You know what I mean? And that was everything that the prophet brought us. To set us free, to save us from our sinful ways. You know what I mean? We talked about proclaiming our nationality. He brought us our nationality. And talked about the creed. He brought us our creed. And when you mentioned that, my thoughts went to, say, because we've been talking about that Ptolemaic demonstration, how they tried to interject that Greek thought pattern into our teaching. And when that Rosetta Stone had those 3 registries, you know what I mean? The first was the hieroglyphs. The second was the unsealed, or the last was the unsealed, or the actual letter. And then you had the second was the cursive writing. You know what I mean? It's all part of our how was it demonic.
What is
and,
Islam.
Okay.
Star 6 your phone,
All right,
brother. Muhammad.
Okay, I thought I had.
Yeah, that nah.
But
Yeah, I don't know what the brother doing
Yes, sir.
over there.
Right. Well, we tend to err sometimes in that with those apparatuses. And well, I'm just saying, you just covered a lot of ground, and you brought a lot of upliftment to understanding. You know what I mean? What the prophet brought us. You know what I mean? And what we have. You know what I mean? As Morris Americans, we need to be. We can walk this earth like gods, or more gods than humans. Because the prophet brought us that Meti Netter. You know what I mean? This is what he brought us. And this is how we're going to save ourselves and humanity. And I just want to say gratitude, God, man, for allowing me to speak, and pardon body for not being in place. But gratitude, and honors to our National Assistant Grand Secretary for allowing me to come to you. Gratitude. Peace and love.
Islam. Peace and love, grand man. We give honors to you for that love thought, brother. Peace and love. And let me see, brother Muhammad Bey, you still over there talking to Chat GPT? Islam.
Islam, grandman. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we hear you loud and clear with the
I
man.
apologize. I didn't realize that I had inadvertently hit the unmute button. Islam.
Oh, all
Gratitude.
is well. All is well.
Okay, gratitude. Islam. Uh, Islam. I'm Dr. Joe Hamid Muhammad Bey of the South Carolina Consulate. Uh, Let me rise in praise of our Father God, Allah, who is the best known ranger of all things, and give the highest honors to our holy prophet, his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. I want to give honors to our Moorish American government, our Moorish American nation, and I want to give honors to everything Moorish. I give honors to those that spoke before me and those that will speak after me. And I want to give much love, honor, respect, and honor to you, our national assistant, Grand Sheik, for always being diligent, forthright, and upright and the lessons that you bring for the upliftment of your people, of our people. Gratitude for all that you do, grand man. And when I think about this subject matter, especially the way that you arranged it, Ali promoted his government's peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. See, our national grand chairman, Dr. Akhenaten Pert Imharu Tutankhamen Bey, he teaches us on our classes 7 nights a week on the Moorish American National Conference calls that we are to always put ourselves into the lessons. So when I thought about this, right, when it says Ali promoted his government's peace and goodwill, the first thing that came to my mind was a divine directive and instruction among many that our holy prophet Noble Jew Ali gave to us. And that divine instruction was imitate I, your prophet. So when I think about this, in that context, right, that means that I, as a Moorish American national, as a Moorish American citizen in our own Moorish American government and nation, I have been charged with the duty and the responsibility to bring about peace, to bring about goodwill, harmony. Most of all, how do you establish peace? So we understand, right? That we learn in these lessons that the major component that brings about the absence of peace, which is chaos, confusion, anger, jealousy, greed, all those things. The scripture says that our people suffer for a lack of knowledge. Well, that's not the complete truth. No disrespect, right? We have to make it plain. No, our people suffer from the lack of knowledge of the truth. So when the truth is available for those that are seeking it and those that can acknowledge it and accept it, automatically from the person that's bringing, or the individuals, or we'll say this Moorish American nation and its citizens and the government that is bringing about this truth to our people wherever they are, automatically that is an act of goodwill. That is one of the greatest actions of love that anyone can bring about. And as you went into the whole thing about the peace, see, when we have peace, which is talking about peace of mind, that means now, because we got this peace of mind, because we got this bit of truth that has opened our mind and our ability to be able to see and think and discern differently. Now, right, we begin to grow and unfold in a whole different way. And this peace also is reciprocal, because now that once one gets the reality of this truth, of the fact that the great God Allah sent a prophet to the melanated Asiatic people, indigenous inhabitants of this land and the planet, to us here, to guide us back to our true selves. Once you get that, automatically you want to reciprocate that to whoever you know. So this is like a recurring act of goodwill. But the Moorish American government and its nation, who represent the spirit of Ali, of the tribe of Ali, we represent that, and we do that to the best of our ability. Whenever and however we get the opportunity. You talked about, man, the words. Oh man, brother. And that is very, very important, because see, like you said, when a person does the research, they find that all of the so-called greetings, when you go into assalamu alaikum, when you go into shalom, all of these greetings, right, in their etymology come from the word, like you said, hotep, ma'at hotep, the balance of living peace. And this is, man, that's so powerful when we know that, because that's the knowledge of the truth. And what does the scripture say? The scripture says that we shall know the truth, and the truth will make us free. No, not right, not set us free, because we were set free as a people in 1865 with the 13th Amendment. But after 400 plus years of being under Eurocentric indoctrination, forced to believe in a God outside of ourselves that they call, no disrespect, that they call Jesus, right? And a religion called Christianity, that means that we were other than ourselves. So when they opened the door for so-called freedom, we weren't free because our minds were enslaved. And that's what Professor Drew Ali, he diagnosed as what? Mental slavery. So we, in this Moorish American government, in this new era of time now, that they call the age of Aquarius, the time when all truth is being revealed, we are the ones in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice that are bringing this to our people, because we are no different than you, family. We were there too. We don't look at ourselves as being any better. We love you beyond what words could ever express. So this is a grand class, grand man. Gratitude, peace and love. Thanks for letting me share. Peace and love.
Islam. And thank you for sharing, brother. Peace and love for that is special draw, and want to give honors to our sister all set as well for yielding the floor to let brothers come forth and give their messages. Islam, you there, goddess and queen?
Islam.
Islam, queen.
Gratitude. First, let me rise and give all praises to Allah and all honors to our Prophet Nabi Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government, our officials of our government, and our citizens. Honors to goddesses and queens, brother man, praise Allah, for taking registration, reading our subject chapter of the week, whomever did, and honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadu Amithi Amuhedja, for bringing forth a grand Moorish perspective this evening. Honors and the topic, which I had, but when I yield the floor, because I'm not home, so I'm like, oh gosh, I was trying to remember it, I was trying to repeat it, but I had to drive at the same time. And it says the prophet is, oh man, jeez. Bring forth that subject matter for me again, please, Muslim.
Oh yeah, Islam, no problem. It's actually Ali promoted in his government, peace, and goodwill. And his name is repeated with praise and benedictions.
Islam, gratitude.
Gratitude, Islam.
Gratitude. Praise Allah. And I'm listening. I was listening to the Moors bring forth their measures, and the demonstration that you gave is right in line with last night's class dealing with the law. Because when you deal with the law, our prophet tells us, "Good is thy power," and he tells us, "Be love as he's loved." And in doing so, as long as we demonstrate the love to our neighbor, the love to humanity, the love to the other nationals of the earth, to our brothers and sisters, our fellow man, fellow woman, as long as we demonstrate that love, we demonstrate that law, we demonstrate our five divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, because we're in tune and in direct alignment with the universal order of things and with what the prophet has instructed us to do. He says to uplift fallen humanity. And in doing so, we're being charitable. And that's another subject matter that you was talking on also. Because we're giving them what we expect to get as human beings as we traverse this earth. We're giving them the truth. We bring it forth and we demonstrate that peace. And I'm grateful for the demonstration you gave on Islamism and the Hotep demonstration, because they think that I've heard them demonstrate it and try to make it something of a misnomer and make one think that they're out of order, practicing the truth, not realizing that you're trying to run from yourself with spirituality and don't realize that Hotep means the same thing. And so they don't understand, and I didn't know it myself, so praise the Lord for the understanding that Hotep and Islamism deals with the practice of the peace. And we being the peace, demonstrating it, being the fruition of allowing man as we journey this earth and be our God self and demonstrate our divine ministry. Our prophet looking at us and he's seeing us and he's giving us the understanding and giving us the understanding and the know-how so that we could be love as he's loved, so that we could demonstrate the truth. And we don't have to worry about arguing with nobody and trying to go back and forth and trying to deal with that competition that the world likes to deal with, because we understand that all truth is one. And as long as we understand that, we demonstrating that love. And we being charitable, because we ain't trying to get into no conflict with anyone. Because we learning as we demonstrate also. So this was a grand class, more. Gratitude for allowing me to speak. Peace and love to all my Moorish king, Islamism.
And gratitude for the measures, sister. We give honors to you. Yeah, we heard, a lot of our people, especially from an ignoramus level, definitely talking about, them hoteps over there, them hoteps this way, and trying to use it derogatorily and have no idea. Yeah, we give honors to you, sister, for that drawing. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. And so at this time, let us call forth our national Grand Mufti, Dr. Kunshu Mark Herube, Islam. You there, Grand Man?
Islam.
Islamism.
That's our religion. Gratitude for calling us forth, Grand One. We rise, first and foremost, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live. According to Act 6, we give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers, swift angels, Mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our holy Quran, our grand national seal, our grand national emblem, our book of fire, the exhuming of a nation. We give honor to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Sadu and Minty Medu Shepsuel, for bringing forth this grand Moorish perspective. And we give honor to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us. To our Moorish kin that will speak after us, we give honors to you, angels. We continue to give the honors where honors are due, and honor all true and divine prophets. And yes, we give honors to our ancestors, as they have come before us, leading the way, and we are them today without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. And praise Allah for that. And it's been a grand Moorish perspective this evening, Muslim, this light is going to continue to shine bright, no matter how one get it now or how they think they're going to get it later. The truth don't change or pass away. And as we see, even dealing with the state of our people, we have to look at the mission of Allah, which is peace on earth and goodwill towards men. And this is what our prophet brought forth. The understanding that this is what Allah wants. This is what the great God wants. Peace on earth and goodwill towards men. So this is what we work towards. But all that starts with the self, first and foremost. If you can't be good unto yourself, you ain't going to be able to be good to others. If you don't have peace within yourself, how can you bring peace into your life, into your surroundings, if you don't have it within the self? Because everything starts from the center to out of bounds. So all the weight or the balance, like in the scale of justice, is in the center. The scales are on the outside, but the center, the platform which holds the scales up, is where the balance is at. This is where Allah is at. This is where we find ourselves meeting Allah as we look at the left and the right side, the heart and the mind, or Horus and Set. When we look at our anti-Kemetic demonstration, how that one was in the center, and he had these two on the opposite sides, and right behind his head was the falcon of wisdom. That's demonstrated by our ancestors, and it means that bring is peace on earth and goodwill towards man as understanding. And so we have to bring it to ourselves, and this is why this mission that we're on, this mission that we have been called, and not only called, but chosen to accomplish, is for us. And those who get it will get it, and those who don't won't. And that's all right. They're going to, there's no failure for the human soul. One is going to have to come back and do it again. But our task is to finish our task, continue to work until the job is done, because our Father's work presses hard upon us. And so we work tirelessly day in and day out to make sure that we are leaving this place in a better place than which we found it. That we are leaving our children, our legacy, with more than we had. We are leaving them, or not leaving them, but letting them continue to move into the next position in the circle of our communities in our life. We're leaving them with more wisdom and more understanding as we step into the roles of elders, and they step into the roles of warriors and parents, and the next generation steps into the roles of students. And that, as we continue to see that cycle, we have to bring to the forefront, as you have this evening, the importance of bringing peace and goodwill not only to yourself but to your community, letting ones know. That's like one of the biggest things for us as a community, as ones that spoke on tonight, talking about how these other nations are working together. As you see it, they don't just kick their children out at a certain age, they continue to keep the family as a nucleus and a support system to greater family structure, a greater family name, to make sure that everybody in the family, those who have definitely had a role in your upbringing and the grand memories that you have from childhood to adult, are taken care of. And we have to step into that similar mind frame and mind state. We have to create the same situation for our children as Moorish Americans, not as Negro, Black, Colored, African American, Ethiopian, any of these other brand names, but as Moorish Americans, we have to also take upon ourselves that understanding that we all we got, that we have to invest in each other, that we have to take care of our elders, we have to look after our youth, that there's no reason that our children shouldn't be able to go to the playground and play and interact. We got to hit the streets and make sure that the drugs that these other communities are trying to bring into our neighborhood stay off the playgrounds, stay in their place, as we had a code of conduct about ourselves at one time. Even though it wasn't a divine one, but it was still a code of conduct, how things was ran, because we valued each other, we valued our families. We have to continue to get into that mode of bringing peace and goodwill towards men and things we do, investing in the youth, letting them know that if you do these things, you'll be rewarded. Rather, if you go to the left and do these things, there's punishment. There's pain and suffering that comes with that choice. But let us show you right choice. And it don't have to do with nothing with religion. It has to do with understanding that this is what's going to make your life better. And this is how we can help to make your life better and make your family's life better. And how we, as a community, make everyone safe in our neighborhoods. And that's something that we have to take upon ourselves. We cannot wait. We cannot rely on any other people to straighten it out for us as Moorish Americans. We're the only ones who understand what it means to be Moorish American, and it takes a Moorish American to teach a Moorish American how to be Moorish American. And so in that, we have to stand on our principles and not allow these things, these laws and principles that we stand on to be violated. And that goes for men and women alike. The sisters got to be strong, just as strong in this demonstration as the men are adamant about. This is the lesson that we need to teach our children. These are rules and regulations that we guide ourselves by, and that we can also help clean our brothers and sisters up with that hammer of the repetition of truth. Let one know that ones fall, but you got to get up. And this is the true showing of a champion. The true heart says, even though we're going through some tough times, but we got to get up and continue, because the battle is not over. And this is a battle we're going to win. We don't get in this demonstration to lose. And we didn't get in it we may not have got in it by choice, but we still in the fight. And so losing it ain't going to make it any better. It's just going to continue to keep put their foot of oppression on us. So we got to win this demonstration by all means and by any means necessary, as far as it's in the law and align with divine law. Because Allah is leading on, the victory is sure. It's not us. The victory is not sure because of how we go about trying to do it the way some other people do it. The victory is sure is because Allah is at the head, that we leave the law that's within each and every one of us in the forefront of our mind in the things that we do when we are interacting with each other, and knowing that this is what Allah wants, peace on earth and goodwill towards men. So gratitude for the class this evening, and gratitude to you, Moorish America, for being here with us and giving us your time, attention, and respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
In Islam and peace, brother, we give honors to you for that drawing, Grand Mufti. Yeah, that's the gist of what that brother ended his conversation. You know, saying that Allah really mean doer. You know, in fact, we even went into the aspect of, you know, going to tell them ones the symbol that they have meaning to give. A lot of them like to say is So, you know, in all actuality, you connect that with La, Ra. If it means to give, then where we giving from? The higher self, huh? Powerful measure, Grand Mufti, Islam. Well, all right, at this time, let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State. She ain't never been shy. Sister Shepsut, Rakat Ma'at, and Pooh, coming Bay. Islam, where you at, Goddess and Queen?
Close as a cut. Gratitude.
Oh, man, that's everything the Prophet brought, including the charity. Islam.
Praise Allah. Grand class. Gratitude. Islam Moorish can, first of all, would arise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet Noble Jura Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, swift angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedwa Menti El Mahedid Shepsuel, for opening our meeting according to law and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspectives class this evening. Giving honor to our National Grand Secretary of Indiana, Dr. Sayanati Nuhekaru El, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. Our subject matter, coming from Ayat 9 of our chapter on charity, Ali promoted in his government peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. This has been such a powerful, powerful class. A lot of unfoldment and enlightenment that was brought forth this evening. Much gratitude to you, Dr. Shaheed, for the research and going into the exegesis, the commentaries on the Quran, and the Arabic dictionary, so that we would get a clear and a more unlimited understanding of the word Islam and peace and what it is that we're supposed to be demonstrating here in this new era of time now, and giving honor to our family online as well. When we look at so many keys that you brought forth, the things that stood out to me was in reference to giving the best of your character to the people. And that is indeed charity. But we can't give what we don't have. And see, this takes us back to one of the basic foundations here is where you have to study the self, be able to note your own strength and worthiness. Make these lessons applicable to the self. What good is the lesson if you are not unfolding to it or being that which the prophet brought? Our ancestors suffered so much, and our people are still suffering, for being under that umbrella of mentally enslaved, where their mind is on lockdown. Whether you're thinking that, Rome's way is the right way or what have you, it doesn't matter. We all should be able to look at each other and see the God within each other. And when I was looking at that word, Salima, dealing with absence from strife, that is so key because our people have been trained to look at each other with hate, having a demarcated thought pattern where always ready to, and this is not everyone, Moorish can. I'm just saying we have a lot of things that we need to resolve within our special people when it comes down to looking at each other with hate, thinking the worst about somebody, even when it comes down to provocation. Everything you turn and see is nothing but evil and chaos and confusion. And this is not what we were designed to be. This is why we have got to go back to our ancient forefathers' state of mind. We have to be able to receive the enlightenment of truth and be that.
recognizing that we come from a source of divinity. And Salima is also dealing with being secure. It's a blessing to be here in our Moorish American government and be secure. It's a blessing to have immunity from evil. When you are founded in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, I don't care what is out there. There's nothing that you cannot unfold and accomplish when you're in the mind state of being more God than human. Because you're not hung up on passions and desires or, what somebody said or I didn't like what somebody did. These are pacifiers and distractions of the lower self and dealing with our own vanity and ego. So being free from faults, that takes work. That takes being able to observe, going from the period of thought to the action. And our prophet lets us know that the sin lies in the wish and the desire, not in the act. Dealing with Sama being in the reality of peace, that, and just dealing with the fields of peace, that is such a blessing to just be able to dwell in that state of mind, which other cultures may call paradise or a state of bliss and the things of that nature. And it's not strange because I was looking in the book dealing with the sacred symbols of Mu, and it also expressed the demonstration in reference to prior to the various nations being demarcated into their former aspect of giving honor to the Creator, that the essence of it was dealing with the oneness of thought or recognizing the universal brotherhood. So we recognize that one truth doesn't negate another truth. So when you are looking at, it doesn't matter if a person is demonstrating what they may term as Christianity or Judaism or Hinduism and what have you. If you are able to see the God within each other, you're able to work together. And our prophet instructs that we are here to be a friend to mankind. So when we walk with the mindset of goodness, peace, and happiness, these should not be foreign entities to us. This is our natural state, being God's, being that love divine. And this is such a powerful measure because if we can rise above the things that separate and divide and keep us demarcated and bring out the lower aspects of hatred, slander, lewdness, etc., and stay in that state of divine love, then this is how all men are drawn together, being willing and able to work together. And indeed, as you stated, this is how we build. So these lessons, when you go back to the subject matter stating, lead promoters in this government peace and goodwill. Every Moorish American national should also be promoting peace and goodwill. And it has to be seen and known. We're not speaking about being seen just to demonstrate for show or just saying out your mouth, yeah, this is what I have done. No. We're demonstrating that from a mode of sincerity, how we can be of service to humanity. That's what it's about, So this has just been a grand class. And these lessons are priceless. These are our national treasures that we have to give to the rest of the nations of the earth. But before we can do that, we have to make it applicable to the self. So gratitude more for calling me forth. This is such a grand class, and it causes one, or should cause one, to do even further study so that we can be what we know. So gratitude more for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
And gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State, for that measure. It couldn't have been said it more better. Now that is the icing on the angel food cake. Islam, Chairman. We already know you ready to eat. Islam, our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton, Pert M. Heru to the Common Bay there. Man, contributions.
Close to the start.
Contributions. Islam.
Islam is without a skill. Let's rise and give praises to Allah and honor the Prophet Noble Ali. And send much honor to Noble Ali, the last prophet in these days and times that brought us, his Moorish American nationals, everything that it takes to save a nation. Everything. He didn't leave out nothing. That's why we got our flag, our own divine constitution. In fact, we even got our own God and forefathers. We are blessed, Moors. We are so blessed, divinely blessed. And when we God is, just to know what divinity is, and the fact that you do have a divine constitution, as well as the bylaws that come with it. We are so honored, Moses. That's an honor, blessing. And in fact, it's just an honor, blessing, knowing each and every one of you. We love you, Moses. We are so, woo, praise the Lord for you. Thank you. Peace.
And Islamism, praise Allah for you as well, Grand National Chairman. Most praise and benedictions being demonstrated and brought forth for the works that you demonstrated, Grand Man. The Prophet most definitely repeated itself. Islamism. Oh man, speaking of the Prophet repeating itself, let us call forth our National Grand Sheik, Dr. Serapis Amun Rael. I already know this Grand Man right here got some charity. Islam, you there, Sheik?
Islam, right next to you.
Islam, Grand Man.
We rise and give a lot of praise, honor to the Prophet and his industrious ways. Prophet Noble Ali, that is. And honor to our official staff. Grand Mufti, Sister Grand Mufti, Grand Mufti Corps, Band, Ministers, Student Ministers tonight, Royal Council, Citizens, sympathizers and supporters, flag, field, emblem, everything this morning needs to be himself or herself. And truly, this has been a grand presentation, as always. It's like we were talking about earlier, and you didn't call yourself lacking anything that one has spoke about, because it's a grand demonstration to know the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word lived amongst us and breathed breath. And we, the children that came here after the Word, are a replica of that same Word, and we utter it forth, from the voice of our remembrance. And I say the voice of remembrance because we know the Word by one speaking the Word, and the Word was God, and God made the Word and allowed, put that Word in man, and we walked on the earth land with the Word, and each one of us individually spoke on the Word, and just like we spoke on the Word, one called the Word that we spoke on, and they demonstrated the same thing. So this is a continuing episode of love thyself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. This is the key that one was stressing on earlier. We have to have that bounding power that saves one and gives one the strength to rise up among formidable foes and bring the essence of the God status or the God state onto the manifest. This is what this government here on earth in these days is striving to do, to bring about the presence of and the peace of our Father God alive. So it's been a grand demonstration, Sheik, as always filling our pockets with that gold of truth, in the sense that we know that the treasures of Allah give us the riches to honor our brother, man, and sister, that we may be the love of Allah's life and continue amongst turmoil, suffering, and strife, to give a lot of praise, adoration, thanksgiving, and glory. Praise Allah. Thank you, Sheikh, for giving us this time to express this continuing story, unfoldment as it is, to from the everlasting of the past to the never ending days to come. Praise Allah. January 15, 1929, a warning from the prophet to read the meeting. Now, hereby inform all citizens must end all radical, agitated speech, love truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold religious feelings toward the government or the property or violating the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust. All true Moors will and must obey the law is laid down to them by the prophet. They lose confidence in their prophet. Should turn in their guard and button, he's one of their bed and return to the state where I, the prophet, found him. This is a holy divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans. They do their part of protecting the prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet to the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of the prophet Noble Jew Ali. This divine warning is supreme laws now and will be enforced by the said government hereby. Islam, Islam, Islam. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. You're the children of one father, provided for by his care, the breast of one mother. That's given you, son. That's the bonds of affection. Therefore, unite me with thy brother. That peace and happiness may dwell in my father's house. And when you separate the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity. And prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Thy brothers in the virtue of your sister. If our sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of our Father contribute to the support of his whole race and his care to continue to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is a picture closed according to Act 2 of our divine constitution and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, more tomorrow at Sunday school. We'll see you at that electric hour. Peace, love, and law to you all, and you love each other. Islam.
Peace and love, family.
Islam is long. Great class.
Yes.
Great class. Islam.
Great class, Dr.
Great class.
Don't forget to pay
Gratitude,
the
Dr.
bills.
Great job, brother.
Class, man. Good class.
Sorry, great class. Great class.
Love y'all.
Yes.
Of all you Moors.
It's my class.
Doing great.
Islam. Praise be to Allah for the prophet promoting peace from
Yes.
his plain and soul. Islam. We love you, Moors.
Islam. Islam, Chief.
Islam. Islam. But we want to give honors to our family also out there in social media. Brother Noble Brian L. Born Dog, brother Yaqub L. Hamid Gamma Bay, brother Richard Neal Bay, R. Neal Bay, Gary Myers Bay, all you family for checking in faithfully. You know, and wait till the next measure because we get greater later. Islam. We love you, family. Peace and love. Peace and love, Moorish America. Gratitude to the tribe of endurance.